I was looking over the release notes for the August 2024 VS Code release 1.93, and this word stood out to me right here. This word is like catnip for me. Experimental. This is neat. Custom Copilot instructions. What are these things? Well, if we come over here, what you can read is that you can have user settings, global settings for your installation, or workspace settings where you can hijack Copilot. You can hijack the chat and prepend instructions. So here you can see two examples of text, but you can also prepend files. Now this, right away, this is experimental, as you can see by this word right here. This is experimental, but I want to show you what's possible. And if you have any ideas, it's all about the feedback right now. So leave some comments with your ideas. All right, let's see what we can do with this thing. I have a little sample project to open, and what I'm going to do now is I am going to add these experimental bits. And so I'm going to go to Preferences and Workspace and open the settings right here. Then I'm going to flip back. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to just drop it right in there. Good. Okay, well, as you can see, I have created a codestyle.md file, and I don't need these text blurbs right here. There we are. One thing I want to point out is this file can change as you move along. Maybe you're going to have specs in here. Maybe you'll have other files, as you're about to see. For right now, I'm just going to start with code style. And my code style is markdown document, as you can see, name of the project, and the directory structure that we like to work with. All right, let's see if everything worked. And here I'm going to say, what is the best structure for my application? And good. As you can see, it used a reference up here. It pulled in codestyle.md, and it's going to do that for every single chat. And there we go. Config, lib, models, repository, services. Very good. Tests. Okay, this looks pretty good. Here's what I'm going to do. Why not? Let's do this. Generate a bash script. I like to work with bash scripts to generate code and do other things. The reason why is I can then review what is going on before I actually do it. So let's do that now. In fact, let's go back over here, and I am going to do init.sh. I'm going to paste that in there, and straight away I can see my underscore application, etc. I don't really want all that. So what I'm going to do, change all occurrences, back that out. Good. All right, so let's run this. I'm going to hit Shift Command /, and then I'm going to say source init.sh directory structured created. Boom, I've got my project. So that's pretty neat. All of this structure right here, all of this was set up right here in our codestyle.md file. And so Copilot knew what was going on. It's pretty fun to pass in files, especially markdown files with specifications for style and other things. But what else can we send in? What if we sent in a SQL file? So here I have the Chinook test database, and it is just the table definition in here. I don't have any inserts, because if I had the inserts, it would be too big. So if you want to play along, make sure this file is just the table definition. So now that I've put that in here, let's go back to settings.json. I'm going to hit Shift Command D to copy that file down. And then I'm going to say, okay, let's see what we can get up to now. We'll go back over to chat, and I'm going to say generate the models using Sequelize. See what Copilot does. Good. It's pulled in the, there we go. As you can see, Copilot, if it has a reference to the SQL file, can generate these models really well. In fact, I didn't spend enough time on this when I was recording this live, and I really should have. Now that I'm editing and looking back at it, look at what Copilot created just from using a SQL file as a reference. It was able to create the associations to other models, nullability, composite primary keys. Take a look at the track model and all of the many-to-many associations that are involved here. It's pretty mind-blowing. In fact, let's change this. In fact, if I wanted to come in here, what if I said using Drizzle? I know Drizzle is a popular one. And there we go. So depending on what data access tool you're using, Copilot can use this SQL file, and it can do all kinds of things. If it knows about your database, I could add full text indexing here if I wanted to, and so on. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Let's go back and say generate a bash script for the Sequelize models. All right, wow, look at that. This is interesting. It is generating the models using the Sequelize CLI. Okay, wow. All right. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to come back over here and double click and go to models.sh. I like having shell scripts. Let's collapse this so we can have it read. Let's see. We're going to initialize that. We don't need to move the models into lib. Don't need to do that. All right, let's see if this works. So I'm going to say source models.sh. It's creating a model and a migration. Wow, that is a lot of work done for us. That's pretty neat. Okay, let's close up everything, and I'm going to do one last deal here. Let's do some housekeeping, because what I want to do now is I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call it docs, and I'm going to move code style in there, and we'll move that, and then also I will create a folder called scripts. And let's move our init and our models in here. And the nice thing about this is sort of tracking what we've been doing with Copilot, because if we ever go through a code review, it's a good idea to have the output here so we can review it so it's not magical. All right, so let's go into docs, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put cart.md. And inside of here, I'm going to say the shopping cart. Okay, so now we have a specification here, and we are building out our documentation, and we can also now hand this off to Copilot. So let's go into settings, and this needs to be docs code style, and we're going to duplicate this line down, and now we're going to do cart.md. This is pretty neat. So now what I can do is I can say generate the cart service. And so logic is going to go into a cart service as dictated in my style guide. And it's also creating a cart test for me. Oh my goodness, look at this. Okay, so it is great. It is using a UUID, which is what I expect. Creating a cart, setting the customer is required. Very nice. Add the item. We have some checks up there. Now again, the idea here is I want some shopping cart code. This will get me off the ground. This isn't supposed to be final. Copilot's not here to write your application for you. It's just here to get you started. And then here we go, the cart service, and then we have tests for it. And yeah, it's good. It's good, except I don't like the test to have more than one expectation. Redo the tests to have just one assertion. And there we go. That's much better. We just have now one assertion per test. I like this. Okay, well, let's copy this. And this is going to go into lib and then services. And we're going to do cart.js. I'm going to drop this in here. Let's check the references. I don't know if I have UUID installed. I might have to install that. And then we're going to go down to tests and drop that in there. And I know that lib cart services. There we are. That's where that's going to live. Okay, what do you think the chances are that this is going to work? Well, I know I need to install a few things, so let's do that really quickly. I'm going to do npm install npm install jest-t npm UUID. Cool. And then let's set this to npm run test is going to be just jest. All right. Well, I'm pretty sure this isn't going to work, but I'm going to try it. npm run test. It is no doubt going to fail. Seven passed? What is this? Your test suite must contain at least one test. Interesting. Oh, do I have more tests in here? I do. Oh, wow. Oh, I have all of these that were generated for me. You've got to be kidding me. There is no way that this is going to work straight away. I'm going to delete these. All right, let's rerun everything. There's no way this is going to work. Oh, my goodness. 7 passed, 1 failed. Ooh, looks like I have config.test.js. That is because, well, that's okay. We're not using this anyway. I'm going to delete this. Very good. Okay. Let's run this. Oh my goodness. I have to tell you this is a complete surprise, which is fun. Well, in the span of about 15 minutes, I have a pretty serviceable application. Of course, there's a lot more to do. There's a lot of refactoring and refinement. But the idea here of being able to set these instructions using documents, Copilot's now aware of my project and is able to go in, generate models as you've seen, generate service classes, know exactly where to put them based on my preferences. And if I start building out my documentation, telling Copilot about the documentation of my application, it can then keep on going and generating the starter code for me. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. This has been fun. Happy coding.